If you were placed on the waitlist, you're probably thinking that this is the end. However, I want you to look at this as a new opportunity to re-engage with your dream school. So I am here today to help you maximize your chances to get off the waitlist and get into your top law school. My name is Cynthia Rivera, and I am the Director of Development, Partnerships, and an Admissions Advisor here at Barrier Breakers, where we specialize in working with minority and first generation law school applicants. As I mentioned, I really want you to use this opportunity to remain engaged and actually develop a new relationship with the school of your dreams. A way of doing this is by writing a letter of continued interest. What is a letter of continued interest? A letter of continued interest is a letter that you would write to an admissions committee if you were placed on a wait list. And we really, really encourage it. Why? Because for the most part, law schools are not going to make the assumption that you want to remain on the wait list. Many applicants, for example, might receive invitations to be on the wait list while simultaneously being accepted at a school that they really want to attend. Most people do not let the admissions committee know that they are no longer interested in the school. That's the reason why a law school will not assume that you intend to be on the wait list. So this is why it's so important for you to re-engage with the school and let them know that you're interested. A law school is more likely to accept a student who's really showing interest. That is why a letter of continued interest is extremely, extremely important. The wait list process might seem like a very long process in which you have very little to say. In some respects, that is true. It is a long waiting process for many schools, and you do not have a choice as to whether you get accepted or not. However, you do have control over re-engaging and maintaining an open communication and relationship with that school, letting them know that you are the perfect candidate for them. Why? Because yield protection is very important to law school. What does that mean? That a law school really want to make an offer to an applicant who's really excited about attending their school. So that is why it's important that you send a letter of continued interest, letting them know that they are your dream school. So today, I really want to walk you through the steps of putting together an effective letter of continued interest. As a first generation student myself, I really didn't have any idea as to all of the steps and what to do when I was applying to law school. So I really hope that this is helpful to you. So there are generally four parts to an effective letter of continued interest. The first part is to say thank you. And that might be obvious to some, but not to others. Why? Because the applicant might still feel a little bit hurt that they were not accepted and instead were placed on the wait list. And I want you to really change and reset that mindset. You have to think that the admissions committee really could have denied you. It would have been easier for them. But yet, they're going to go through the process again of reevaluating your application. This is more work on their end. And the fact that they still see you as someone that could succeed and contribute to their law school is really encouraging. I really want you to reset your mind before you start writing your letter of continued interest. This is an opportunity, not the end. So the tone is very important. And that is why we start with gratitude. Express your gratitude. Now, this doesn't mean that you're going to write 1 or 2 pages letting them know how excited or how thankful you are. 1 sentence would suffice. For example, you could say something such as, "Thank you for considering my application," or "Thank you for evaluating my application. I really appreciate you taking the time." Or you can say, "I really appreciate you taking the time to evaluate my application." Or, "I want to thank the admissions committee for your time. I am very excited to be part of your waitlist." So your first sentence should be gratitude. Don't overdo it, but be sincere. Your tone should be professional And although this was not the decision that you probably had hoped, your first sentence should express gratitude. Now, the second component is also a very important component because, as I mentioned earlier, the law schools are not going to make the assumption that you are interested on staying on the wait list. The second component of a letter of continued interest is to convey your desire to stay on the wait list. And this is something that you can just express it just like that. Be clear. I am interested in remaining on the wait list. As I mentioned, law schools do not know what your plans are. They do not know, how many other law schools you're evaluating. So they're not going to assume that. So let them know. By letting them know, you're only maximizing your chances, right? And that's a way for you to have control, a little bit of control during this process that seems sometimes to be chaotic. Make sure that before you let a law school know that you're interested in remaining on the wait list, make sure that you think deeply as to whether this is something that you really, really want. What do I mean? The waiting period can be, for some schools, a very long one. Sometimes students do not hear from the admissions committee until the end of the summer. Sometimes they might hear from the admissions committee the day before classes begin. So you really have to do some soul searching and really, really reflect as to whether this is something that you really, really want to do. Is this your dream school? Are you willing to wait this long? Are you willing to perhaps lose some of the money that you had placed as a deposit for some of the other schools? Why is this important? Because you want to make sure that whatever you include in your letter of continued interest is honest. You're not going to let them know that you are interested in remaining on the wait list when in reality that's not true. It's not ethical. And you don't want to begin your career as an attorney by providing the admissions committee information that is not true. So, really think about it. Am I willing to wait for such a long period of time? So, once you have decided that remaining on the wait list is for you, let them know. The third component of an effective letter of continued interest is letting the school know why are you interested in that particular school. Now, it is very important that your letter appears to be just for them. You do not want to cut and paste from other letters of continued interest because it will show. So I really encourage you to do some research, look deeply into programs that align with your interest. Talk to people if you haven't done so yet. Talk to students, talk to alumni, reach out to the admissions committee. If you have a chance to visit, go and do that. Now, what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to repeat something that you have already submitted. So if you have already submitted a why statement to them, if you have written a letter as part of your application indicating the reasons why you want to attend, don't repeat that information. They already have that. You need to provide new information. Why? Because as I explained at the very beginning, remember, we want to develop, and I should say further develop, a relationship. So you want to let them know a little bit about you. Let them know new things that they don't know about you. Find new reasons for the law school to really see that you love their school, that you're familiar with their programs, that you really look forward to participating in extracurricular activities. And this brings me to the next point, which is when you are conducting this research, make sure that you reach out to affinity groups because they're going to provide you with a different perspective, which is very valuable when you're writing your letter of continued interest. So, for example, if you meet new students or attend some of their forums, you could say something like, after speaking with second L person, or after speaking with the president of the Puerto Rican Law School Association, my decision to attend X law school, attend your law school was solidified. Let them know that you're still researching them. Let them know that you simply feel that this is the perfect law school for you. So keep that in mind. Do not submit information that you have already submitted to them. In addition to researching and discussing your interest in particular classes, clinics, or even professors, if there is a personal connection, please let them know. That is appropriate. It is appropriate to let them know that you have family who reside in the area. It is appropriate to let them know, for example, that a partner or a spouse is attending school nearby or works nearby. It is appropriate to let them know that attending this law school is not just a perfect intellectual match, but is also a perfect lifestyle match. So let them know. The third component should take a couple of sentences, I would say probably a paragraph. Put together a paragraph that is genuine and that is well thought out. Think of the letter of continued interest as your own brief. You're advocating, you are your very first client. So, as an attorney, you really want to make sure that you're presenting the evidence. And the evidence here is that you're presenting substantial evidence. So, the more research you do, the more you get to know the law school, the more prepared, engaged, and genuine your letter of recommendation will come across. The fourth component is to provide an update in the letter of continued interest. You want to show the admissions committee that you are curious, that you remain engaged. This is important because they're trying to make a decision. So the more they get to know you, the better the chances are of you getting off the wait list. So you want to show them that you're not just intellectually gifted, but that you're also a person that's likable and a person who's curious and a person who's out there learning and serving. As I mentioned at the beginning, this is an opportunity for you to develop a relationship, to further your relationship with your dream school. So an update is very important because it will reflect your interest. It will also reflect your character. It will also show them that you have remained engaged. An update could include your GPA, your most recent GPA, a new LSAT, a promotion, a new volunteer opportunity. Try to link those updates to your overall aspiration of becoming an attorney. If you feel that you haven't done anything for the past couple of months, or they might say, hey, I got a second job, but that's not important, or I don't have anything to show, I am going to fail, and they're going to see this letter of continued interest, and they're not going to even review my application a second time. I want you to take a deep breath and remain positive. Why? Because if you feel that you have not done anything that you could share with the admissions committee, you still have time to do so. My recommendation is to go ahead and send your letter of continued interest, letting them know that you're interested in remaining on the wait list, really providing them with new evidence as to why this is the perfect school for you and how the school's values and curriculum really align with your interests. Let them know again, thank them for the opportunity to review your application. You can go ahead and send that letter immediately. And then try to find an opportunity to engage with the community and send another letter of continued interest in about, I would say, 4 to 6 weeks. Why? Because I don't want you to hold off on your letter of continued interest while you're looking for a volunteer opportunity, because as I mentioned initially, it's very important that you let the admissions committee know as soon as possible that you're interested in remaining on the wait list. Fear not, if you do not have an update, then send the letter without an update, because you're not going to make up an update. Send the letter and then go ahead, find a new opportunity, re-engage with the community, do something that you love, do something that aligns with your overall goal, You can send another letter 4 weeks later, letting them know that you're still interested in their school and providing them with an update. So you're still okay. I want to mention as to the things that you should not mention in a letter of continued interest. Number one, if you're letting the admissions committee know how interested you are in their law school, be sincere, be honest. Do not tell an admissions committee or tell a law school that they are your number one choice if they're not. Lying is not the best way to begin your law school career. It's also unethical. You can only accept an offer from one law school. And if this law school is a law school that you like, but is not your number one choice, you can say something like, hey, this is a school that I'm very interested in. This is a school where I could see myself flourish. But don't say that it is your number one choice when it's not. Now, if it is absolutely appropriate for you to let them know that it is your number one choice. And it is appropriate for you to let them know that you will withdraw all other applications if you were to be removed from the waitlist and given an offer. That is absolutely appropriate. Okay, so be genuine and do not tell a school that they are your number one choice when in reality they are not. Another don't write in your letter of continued interest that you were accepted by other schools. Someone might say, okay, Cynthia, well, other schools accepted me and these people placed me on the wait list. The other schools are ranked higher or they're better. I don't know what's wrong with these people. I'm just going to let them know that I was accepted by all of these schools. Don't question their decision. Even if you feel upset about being on the wait list, don't show it. Vent with a friend, vent with family. But the letter of continued interest is not the place for you to vent your personal grievances. So whether other schools accepted you and how dare they, or whether you think that they're not deserving of you, is an attitude that will come across on the letter of continued interest. So keep a positive tone, leave the negative tone out of the letter of continued interest. So remember the 4 components of a letter of continued interest. Number 1, express gratitude. Number 2, let them know that you still want to remain on the wait list. Number 3, let them know why they are your top choice. And number 4, provide update. And something else, be a good applicant. Let the admissions committee know that you're not interested in the wait list. You don't have to write a long letter. You can simply send an email saying, thank you for your consideration. I have decided to accept another offer. In doing so, you will be opening that space for someone else who truly, truly wants to attend that law school. So, if you were placed on the wait list, I want you to remember that this is not the end. It is the beginning. It's an opportunity for you to further develop a relationship with the law school of your dreams. And if you know of a friend that could also benefit from this information, please make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.